Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and I'm here with my husband, Noel. He's behind the scenes running our cameras, doing those graphics. Good morning. Good morning. I see Southern Charm, Two Peas in a Pod. Hello, everybody. Amanda, Rawson, good morning. I know I'm missing some names. I can't read them all that fast. Welcome in. A Monster Mama. Hello. So, Monday morning, fresh start to the week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted. I'm guessing Southern Charm might be a little tired. I got to actually meet her. That is Miss Michelle and her husband Tim. I got to meet them. You're tired too. I don't blame you guys. So they drove home yesterday, but we got to hang out and do some antiquing and just some shopping and just enjoying company this weekend. So that was really great. I always like when I get to meet whatnot people and especially ones that I consider friends. So good morning, Daisy Lane. So that was my weekend after if you were here, let's see, my Saturday show, you probably heard me talk about my whole adventure trying to make it home. I'll give you a little recap. So most of you know I was in Dallas last week, and I decided with Southern Charm and her husband coming in to visit us, I was supposed to fly home Saturday. I got done with my conference. Good morning, early on Friday. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just switch my flight. I'm going to make it home Friday. This is going to be great. I'll get home early. So I switched my flight. And this whole thing kind of made me a little bit of a hypocrite. So I'm going to talk about that too. So I switched my flight on Friday, rushed, like I got back to the hotel, hurry up, rushed over to the airport, almost went to the wrong airport, but I still made it, went to the airport, and then get on the plane in Dallas. I had a layover in Louisville, Kentucky, and then I was coming to Baltimore. Get to Louisville, Kentucky. They made everybody get off the plane, and they're like, nope, you can't get back on the plane. All flights are grounded in the DC airport. So Baltimore is considered a DC airport. All flights, 3 airports, no flights were taking off, no flights were landing. They couldn't give us any estimate on when we'd be getting home. And all I wanted to do was to get home. So I ended up renting a truck, drove straight through 8 hours, made it home by 3 o'clock in the morning. I was so exhausted, but it was still totally worth it. It was a crazy experience. And so then yesterday, of course, my vehicle was still parked at the airport in Baltimore. So yesterday I had to drive down there and get my luggage and my vehicle. So I go to get my luggage, and the lady at the luggage counter tells me, she's like, I don't show you were ever on a flight at all. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I wonder, we could track satellites all around the world, right? How come we can misplace luggage? How in the world? I did eventually get my luggage, so all worked out in the end. Eventually she found it. But there was that moment of panic, and you're thinking about, I'm like, I have my favorite pair of jeans in there. I've got shoes in there. I've got makeup in there. And you're like running through your head of all these things you're about to have to replace, right? She did find it. They did their job. They did it well. But it really made me wonder, how in the world do we lose luggage? How we could track things that are, hundreds of thousands of miles away from the earth, but we can't track luggage from, one state to the next. I don't know. They redeemed themselves. They got it. So I'm home now, and that was good. And we'll be heading to Nashville next week. So this is a busy month of travel. It's like the post office. How does something go missing just from going from one state to the next? Our country, it's a good sized country, but come on, let's face it, it's not that big. It's not like it's traveling around the world, right? It's just going across country. Anyways, if you are new here, I don't just always go off on little rants like that. Yeah, maybe I do sometimes. But this is our morning chat and sell. There are items in the bin that you could pre-bid on if they interest you. There's also, or in the auction tab, in the bin, there is a few new things. I put about 10 new things in there last night. So we do have a few new items. If you want to take a look at those, we always try to keep these shows to smaller items. Good morning, Shalom, to make it easy to ship during the week. And then we do a very big show, or what we consider big for us, is our Saturday show. This Saturday is mixed vintage. So going to be a little bit of everything. Last Saturday, we did glowy glass. That was fun. We had some really unique pieces. And like I said, coming up is mixed. So you never know what you're going to get with the mixed vintage show. A little bit from MCM, antiques. It could be a little bit of anything. All right. For the show, we talk about, hold on. My husband sits here and just distracts me the whole show. Just distracts me. I got to fire him. But then I wouldn't know how to do the cameras. The bunny, what? Oh, my little bunnies. Are you talking about those back there? I thought I needed to get a little bit in the Easter spirit. So the sad bunny in the bed. I know, isn't it adorable? But I thought you didn't like bunny thing, like figurines. But he is adorable, the little one in the bed. Did anybody catch Reselling Roundtable last night? That is our podcast we do with I Love Discounts and Green 13. We had a good crowd last night. We had close. Daisy Lane was there. Yeah, we had close to 30 people. We had a really good conversation last night. Southern Charm was there. We talked about, our main topic was imitate or innovate. Does he have a white beard that he can just jot the show? Hold on. Does he have a white beard that he can jot? Oh, a whiteboard that he can jot on and show you his comments. Yes, he does, actually. That's his whiteboard. Yep. We finally broke down and bought him one because he was doing all these hand signals, and I'm like, I'm lost. I'm totally lost. And then he was trying to thinking I was a lip reader, and he would go, and I'm like, dude, I have no clue what you're saying. So last night, I'm going to go back, Reselling Roundtable. We talked about imitate or innovate. If you're in the chat this morning, tell me what your thoughts are. We had this whole long discussion as resellers on whatnot. And if you're a buyer here too, you can have a good opinion on this because you're there watching everybody. Noah would look Deborah with, I don't know, maybe just like a little white beard. I'm not too sure. He's grown out his mustache before, and I'm like, that's just not you. For him, I was like, no, I don't like it. Probably because when I met him, he didn't have it. So it just is not my thing with him. So I'm really curious. Do you think when buyers imitate or copy another buyer, are we copying? Are we innovating? Do we just take the ideas and improve on them? Do you think there's a difference? Do you find it make them better? Do both and make them better? Yes. And we kind of talked about that, a little bit of both. We kind of talked about Jeremy and Lysandra and Tony kind of thought, they kind of came from the aspect that there's not a lot of new ideas. We've been around, but not 5-6 years. Most of the ideas have occurred in some shape or form. So innovation now looks more like taking an idea and transforming it a bit. So Jeremy described it really good, like you're layering on. You have an idea here, then you layer on a different concept to it, and then you layer on, the next person layers on. And I liked that concept. I tend to think that we still have room to innovate. We still have room to be completely brand new ideas and creative ability here on this app in how we sell or how we present things or just kind of how we run our shows. Needs to be tweaked and put your own spin on it, definitely. I take stuff, twist it, come up with stuff. So I think we all do this. We all kind of feed off of each other. Like we see something and somebody's doing really great and we're like, oh, I really like that concept. I don't want to do exactly what you're doing, but how can I, like somebody said already, make it my own? I think there are tons of new ideas to be had. I guess I didn't voice. Oh, okay. So there we go. Lysandra says that there still are tons of new ideas. I agree. I'm of the mindset of I'm constantly, when I'm out shopping, when I'm doing stuff in the real world, I know that e-commerce and what we do here is very different than shopping at a retail brick and mortar establishment. But I still believe there's so much we can learn from the brick and mortar establishments. These places have been around for years and years and years. They've perfected things to the most part that we could take that, these little tips and tricks and things that we see in real life. And we're like, oh, that made me feel really good as a customer when I went shopping here. How do I take that and transfer that to whatnot? So I still think there's a lot of room for those types of things. Really don't care one way or another. I think we do share and feed. Yeah, I really do think we feed off of each other. Like, I'll see somebody doing something and my reverse auctions, that wasn't my idea. That was Jeremy's idea. And it was probably somebody else's idea before it was his idea. And maybe it was somebody on the app or off the app. So anyways, that was the whole topic. It was a really good conversation. If you missed it, it is on YouTube. So you can always go back and rewatch it at any time. Or even better, y'all could just go and save our podcast for next Sunday and then come and talk to us and ask questions in the chat. That's an even better idea. And we're going to be doing something new with the podcast. So next week, what's our topic for next week? What did we decide on for next week? I don't have my notes from last night. Lysandra, if you're here, what did we decide on? Don't ask me. See, this is how quick we forget. Y'all, we do our podcast and then we all kind of regroup after the podcast and we're like, okay, what are we talking about coming up? I don't have it in this book, I don't think. He's looking it up. We'll tell you what it is.
Wing it or
Yes, schedule it or wing it. That's our topic for next week is schedule it or wing it. So come see that. And then the week after it's going to be a really good show. I'm not going to be there, so it's going to be wonderful. No, it is. This is it right here. And so next week is schedule it or wing it. But in 2 weeks, we're going to have some guests on our show. We're reaching out to a couple of people. Both Jeremy and I have other commitments, so we are not going to be able to be on the podcast. So it's going to be Tony and Lysandra and a couple of guests. So we went through our list last night. We have some people in mind that we're going to be inviting. So that will be announced as soon as we nail it all down and know for sure and we get all the commitments in place. But that's going to be an exciting one. This is the first time we're going to actually have guests on the podcast. And Tony and Lysandra get the honor of talking to them and introducing them to everybody. Fun fact from auctioneer school, reverse auctions have been around for a long time. There was Dutch and Japanese versions. Oh, that's really neat. Yeah, I don't think he came up with it, but I think he was one of the first to try it on Whatnot. And then for a while too, according to Jeremy from Green 13, I didn't see it. I think this was before I ever got on Whatnot. Whatnot was at one point working on the back end, the software to actually allow us to do reverse auctions. It was like in a beta and then they took it back and nobody's ever seen it since. So Whatnot, if you're listening, we want that back. It is such a good tool, particularly for new sellers in order to protect your profit margin, but still bring good deals to the buyers. All right. What do I want to talk about? If you're in the storms today, be safe. I got up this morning and was looking at all the school closures and stuff. So I know a lot of you are going to be hit with storms. So just be careful. CEO challenge, you guys, the CEO challenge. We're going to play the video for you real quick. And then I will take just a quick second to talk about it. And I do see some pre-bids. We'll get to those. It's funny you're doing your ghost on your. Are you going to run it?
no.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
Six sellers growing, learning, building through weekly challenges, building the business, not just the
I don't know what happened.
All right, so that is the CEO challenge. That is coming, you guys. Oh,
Welcome to the CEO challenge.
We had a little, I don't know, we paused. It had a little pause in the video there. That's the CEO challenge. If you are interested in being a participant in the CEO challenge, this is half reality TV show, half challenge, half, that's a lot of halves. Let's say a third reality TV show, a third challenge for a monthly challenge, and a third raid train. So it's a little mix of all of this. Brand new concept, never seen before on Whatnot. If you are interested in joining that and being one of those 6 sellers who are going to participate in this, there are applications. They're easy apps. It's not like, you're not applying for the job of your life. It's very easy. It's some basic information just so we can sort through and pick the first 6. But you can go to www.boomerangecho.com. Noelle will put it on the screen for you. And you will see the CEO challenge listed, and you can click there, and it'll take you right to where you get your, there it is right there, where you can download an application. So if you're interested in this and being one of the 6, get your application, get it in. They are due in by the end of next week, actually next Wednesday, so that I can make the announcement by Friday on who the challenge winners are, or not the winners, who the participants are going to be. Or if you know somebody who you think, hey, you would be awesome for this, let them know about it and let them submit an application. So that's coming up. I have got a really cool topic to talk about today. At least I think it's cool. It's very controversial. So before we get into my controversial topic, let's go ahead and run these two pre-bids really quick because I see them sitting there. And then we'll talk about this one. Let's see. Up first, we have a little mini Lufkin mug. It is so cute. This is probably printer shelf size. There's a tiny, not tiny, it's, I don't know, what did I put in there? 2.5 inches tall. We're going to switch cameras over here. And it has, what is that, ducks? Maybe a pellet. I think those are pelicans. Those aren't ducks. And it is Lufkin, in great shape, no chips or cracks. Little sticker smudge stuff down there at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and run that one. Shipping is $4.50. We're going to put that on for 10 seconds, 3-second reset, and that's going right now. Thank you for your pre-bid, Shalom. I appreciate that. And Shalom, that's going to you. Thank you so much. Next up is some amber glass. Look at this beautiful candy dish. I mean, you could put anything in it, but I think it's perfect for candy. We have an amber pedestal dish, and that one's going to run now. Usually on these shows, we do smaller items because, y'all, I just need a little break during the week in my shipping. So we're going to go ahead and run that. No chips or cracks. It is 5 inches. What did I say it was? 5 inches tall. Yeah, no, it has to be 5-inch diameter. I probably mistyped that, so hopefully that doesn't change your mind, Shalom. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I see the other pre-bid. We'll get to that in just a minute. We're going to just do a couple at a time. I want to introduce this topic because I am so curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. This is super controversial. All right. I love amber glass too. I have a pretty decent amber glass collection, and then I've more recently have started with milk glass. I don't want to say just started. I've had pieces for quite a while, but have really been on this whole milk glass craze. So, all right. I just want to ask you guys a question first, and then as I tell the story, it'll all make sense. Here's the question. You have your neighbor. Let's just pretend you have a neighbor. The neighbor knows that you sell stuff on Whatnot, and they bring over a vase or a vintage item. They bring over something that they found in grandma's attic. And they're like, look, I don't want this, but I know you sell this stuff. Here you go. I don't want it anymore. It's yours. I don't need it. Have no use for it. Go ahead. You can have it. You can do what you want with it. You can sell it. Cool, right? Does that person who gave it to you, should they determine how much you sell it for? Should they have any say? And should they be like, I gave it to you now. Gave it to you for free, so make sure you don't sell it for too much. No. See, that's where I was leaning. We're getting a lot of no's. I've not seen one yes that person should have a say in it. So here's what I want to talk about. I read, any of you follow the Facebook post? Maybe some of you saw all the Whatnot groups on Facebook. So why do people get pissed? There you go. I love discounts. Either you're reading my mind or you saw that Facebook post. There is a Facebook post by somebody very, very popular, a very huge seller. They're not on Whatnot anymore. They have started their own app. Actually, somebody I really like. I just don't want to call out the names. Who put a Facebook post that said, the problem isn't Goodwill raising their prices. We all know they're doing it. Do we like it? No, not really. I think they're cutting themselves short by raising the prices. They're pushing away a good portion of their buyers, but that's their business decision. But what her point was, it's not Goodwill raising prices. It's people donating to them, and that when you donate to Goodwill, it's a lack of donating. People are like, oh, I don't want to donate to you because you're charging too much. And she made the point that Goodwill should never charge more than $10 for something because they get their items for free. And I'm like, really? So we should be able to tell Goodwill what they can charge? I don't think we have any say in that. If you give something to Goodwill, you give it to them. Does anybody agree with? I'm just curious if anybody else thinks that Goodwill shouldn't charge what they charge. Are some of their prices crazy? Yeah, some of their prices are crazy, but it's up to them. No different than us as a business determining what we want to charge for our business. I gave it away because you didn't want to deal with it. Exactly. So who are we? Look, I'm the same way. I get upset on some of the stuff. I'm like, Goodwill, what in the world were you smoking? Because that bowl ain't worth $49.99, right? But it's still their decision. What is my decision is I'm not going to pay $49.99 because I'm not crazy. Good morning. So, let me, I don't know if I can do that. Hold on, I'm trying to unpin this real quick. Let me see. Okay, so let's see. What do you have? They can charge what they want. Yep, I Love Discount says that. She could charge no more than $10 per show fees. Yeah, exactly. If we could, I'm sorry, honey, I am not getting this. Why is this not? There we go. Okay, when the CEO makes $1 million, token. Yeah, I knew it was coming. You cannot mention Goodwill without talking about their CEO. Look at this. I did research. I got a whole thing of notes. We're going to talk about the CEO right here. You've hit, oh my gosh, you were in for a rant. You've just hit on my other soapbox. We're going to get on it though. Let's see. Good morning. If you give it with a free heart. You cannot dictate what happens to it. Exactly, Kelly. I totally agree. Just choose not to buy. Yeah, if you don't like the price, you as a buyer can walk away. That is no different than me deciding, do I want to shop at Walmart or do I want to shop at Target? Do I want to pay this price? Do I want to go to Dollar General? Do I want to go to Louis Vuitton? It's the same decision process, right? My frustration comes when I see a piece overstocked in donations but continue to charge high prices. If they would. And to me, Rawson, it's just bad business on their part, like bad business decisions, but they have to figure that out. Whatnot sees the influx of reselling. We're going to talk about the Goodwill organization as a whole. They do market research, just like any company does market research. They know there's an influx of people who are buying to resell. So they're trying to cash in on that. They're trying to up their prices in order to make more money because more of us are buying at Goodwill, particularly since COVID. What they're not considering, or maybe they are and they don't feel that it's a high risk, is the more you up your prices, the more you're cutting back on your market, because as resellers, if you're taking away all of our profit that we can make in an item, we'll quit buying from you and we will find other sources. I'm sure they've thought about that and it's part of their overall strategy in some way, shape, or form. I think they're losing some of the market share because of it, my opinion. It's like when I buy thrift blankets to use as batting for quilts and they get snippy. Yeah, you do. Yeah, once you buy it, you can do whatever you want with it. Goodwill core mission is not to be a place for resellers to source from. Goodwill's core mission, though, is to sell, to make money, to support people in their career, either obtaining jobs or growing their careers. They use the sales. That's their outlet as a revenue stream. They get other donations like cash donations, grants, and other money like that. Some of them even have schools. So there's a lot of other things happening with Goodwills. But their sales in their store is their main revenue source to further their charitable mission. So I have to disagree with you, I4Beauty. That's their main income source. If the purpose is to generate profits to serve the community, then we should encourage them to get all they can. There you go. So that's a completely different thought on that, Bird Theory. I like that. I like that we're all here kind of coming at it in different ways. One of the things we hear every single time, I do see some pre-bids, we'll get to those. You know what, I'm going to start a giveaway too. Every time you mention Goodwill, and I knew before I even opened that post on Facebook, they don't price accordingly, so resellers, they don't. They're pushing us out of that market. I do agree with that, and I think that's a bad business decision on their part. Who knows? Maybe they'll realize that and change it. Maybe they won't. How much money do they actually use if their CEO is making? KD Lewis, second person to talk about CEO salary. Every time Goodwill comes up, CEO salary comes up. I want to put this into perspective. I'm really everybody just try to we're all going to have an open mind here, because if you can change my mind, feel free. We can have a friendly debate. So I used to work at a nonprofit. I was a CFO, not a CEO. I was a CFO for 13 years, chief financial officer at a very small nonprofit. Did I make $1 million a year? No, I did not. So I may come at this a little biased, totally admitting my bias here. I do have a soft spot for charitable and nonprofit organizations because that is a big bulk of my past history. If salary isn't enough, then who would do it? The Bird Theory, thank you very much. This is a corporation. First of all, people want to say that Goodwill, it's a charity. Why should they make that much money? They're a nonprofit. Okay, nonprofit is a tax classification. It is not a business model. They are a corporation that has chosen to file as a nonprofit and has gone through the IRS steps to do so. Nonprofit is just a tax classification. Okay. It does not take away that they are a business, just like you're a business, just like Target's a business, just like any other store is a business, like Nike, all of those are businesses. I ditched sourcing from Goodwill. Yeah. I mean, some people like it, some people don't. Some people have this very hatred towards Goodwill because of the CEO thing, because they're like, oh, the CEO makes so much money. Let's talk about this though. It's a large nonprofit that requires skills and expertise to run it effectively. 100%. And let's talk about those skills and expertise. Let's put this into perspective here. Anybody know how many, without Googling, off the top of your head, how many stores Goodwill has across the United States? $3,000, in the thousands. So the number that I found was 3,300 to 3,400. Okay, 3,300. So let's just cut it in half. 3,350. Okay, 3,350 stores. We're just kind of going straight in the middle, creating an average there. Let's compare that to another store. Anybody shop at Kroger? Kroger's a large grocery store chain. I don't know if it's nationwide. I know there's quite a few in the South, but this was the closest one that I can come up with. Okay, Southern Charm knows Kroger. So Kroger's a large grocery store chain. And this was probably the closest. I looked up quite a few different retail type establishments to try to find the closest I could. And Kroger has 2,700 stores. So Kroger is actually a little bit smaller, less stores than Goodwill. And they also run under other names too. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so it's a grocery store chain. Think Publix, Aldi. It's a grocery store. Okay. Anybody want to take a guess on what the salary for the CEO of Kroger is? Less stores. About what? 600 less stores. 17 million. 17 million for Kroger, the CEO on average. And that probably doesn't include all the bonuses and miscellaneous stock options. And they always have these executive compensation packages. Like their meat selections. Okay. Do you know how much? Now let's talk about how Goodwill is structured. Goodwill actually has multiple CEOs, not just one. They have multiple because they are a lot smaller in geographical regional locations. Each region has its own CEO. Then there's a CEO over all of it. So I'm just going to talk about the top dog, the guy that's over all of it, okay? You know what his annual salary is? $650,000, give or take a bit. We have a CEO who has responsibility of about 800 more stores, making a fraction of what Kroger's CEO makes. And we're still complaining that the guy's paid too much? If I take their dollar of gas for spending, yes. They do got some good deals with that, don't they? Public CEO salary, $721. That's probably just base. That probably doesn't count like all the rest of the compensation that they get. That's probably just straight like W-2 number just for the gross of what he's actually right for. All right. So they don't make as much as we think they make, okay? Some of you are probably sitting there thinking, yeah, $650,000 is still a lot. It's a charity, it's this and that. It is a business. So Susan, Trendy Treasures, you got that giveaway. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I think that they're underpaid. I actually think as a CEO only making $650,000 that they are incredibly underpaid. Think about this. He has the full responsibility of the marketing. Maybe he's not doing it himself. He has a team, but ultimately it's on his head because he has to answer to a board of directors about how profitable are these stores? How are they running? How are they using that money effectively? Are they meeting all the IRS requirements as a nonprofit? What about safety in their stores? What about insurance in their stores? What about the footprint of the stores? When do they open a store? When do they close a store? How do they run? Who do they hire? All of these things he is ultimately responsible for, and he's really only making $650,000. That's not a lot of money. So I'm hoping that anybody who is like, oh, look at this, he shouldn't be making this much money because we donate product. Maybe you can see it from a different perspective. The store should be paying him more to do the job that he's doing. This has to be run like a business. It's just like our business. And because it's just like our business, I wanted, I wanted to make another point before I talked about this. Do you know that there are more Goodwill stores than there are Targets? There's more Goodwills than there are Targets. Think about that for a minute. How many people have a Target within driving distance? There are more Goodwills than there are Targets. Okay. For a statistic about Goodwill that I found, almost everybody in the United States, there's remote areas, almost everybody has a Goodwill within 10 miles of their home. Just about everybody in the United States has a Goodwill within 10 miles of their home. So I just wanted to throw some facts out there that you never hear in these Facebook groups, because all you hear is, oh, the CEO makes too much money. And it just gets under my skin. So I really wanted to throw some facts out there. I've had 2, both are trash. Yeah, we have a few. I actually have 4 that are not within 10 miles, but within pretty darn, I don't want to say close for me in the country, within 30 minutes. Okay. Anyways, here's another really cool fact. Just some stuff to think about when you're thinking about Goodwills. Every day, about 12 million pounds of merchandise flows through Goodwill. 12 million pounds of merchandise flows through Goodwill. That is equivalent to unloading 200 fully loaded semi-trucks a day. 200 fully loaded semi-trucks a day they're processing. That's astounding to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, just think of the volume of that. That's huge. I've heard, and Daisy Lane, I hope it's okay to talk about, I've heard Daisy Lane say that she has like storage units. She has a long history of running an auction house and being in that business. She has, I don't know if they're trucks, but like storage lockers on her property. And she's like, it's going to take me a while to go through all of that. It's not like let's do 1 or 2 shows, that it takes a long time to go through that much. How much do their employees get paid to go through all that merchandise? They get paid at least minimum wage, which is by law, they are meeting the law. Some paid more, none are paid less. They comply with the laws that are set in the states. So if minimum wage isn't enough, then that's a political thing. I'm not getting into politics, but then that's something that has to be changed from a different avenue. Target, and they have to process it where Target there's a lot that goes into this. So anyways, just had to throw that out there. There was one other thing I wanted to make. So I looked up and I did a little estimations, did a little bit of math. The average full-time reseller, and we're talking average because it was very low and very high, so I took a number in the middle. An average full-time reseller makes around $100,000 a year. About, okay? There were some that were in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and there were some numbers that I was seeing upwards of 200 or so. I picked 100 to be very conservative in the middle. The average reseller makes about 100,000. And the average reseller runs one business, their shop, right? Their revenue streams. If you as a reseller had the responsibility, if you had 3,300 people working for you, 3,300 different locations, do you know how much your annual salary should be? $1.5 to $4 million. Millions. I don't know about you, but I feel I'm worth millions. And I'm sure the CEO of Goodwill feels that he's worth more than $650,000. So that's my whole rant. My husband's getting mad at me. He hates hearing me go off about this. Honestly, my only gripe is the cost of shipping with them. They have been very lucky with sourcing through them otherwise. Oh, really? I've never tried their online store. I love discounts. Congratulations, you got that giveaway. All right, let's take a break from talking about that. We're going to go over and do some of these pre-bids. I see them sitting there because I ranted enough. And my husband's like, stop your rant. He's over there giving me the look. You know that husband look? I'm getting it. So, all right. What is Noel's stand on the matter? I have no idea. I would love to hear what he thinks. He probably thinks Tracy should just shut up. I'm sure that's what he thinks. Would you like to tell your opinion? Are you ignoring me? Oh, that's he's just like, you know what he's doing now? He's like, I'm just going to smile and shake my head for my wife. We're learning and having fun. That's right. Okay, I got a piece of hair. All right, first up, we're going to go ahead and run this one. I see a pre-bid on this. I love the colors on this. I am so into green right now. It does say Stone Mountain, Georgia. Anybody ever been to Stone Mountain? Really cool park if you've never been. Really, really cool place to go. But you can barely see it, and I think you could probably wash this off. I learned a new trick really quick. I got to tell you this. Put me in the bubble. I learned something new this week. Yes, I'm actually asking for the bubble. Southern Charm taught me something. You know, you can I'm pretty sure it will work on something like this too. Like things like this or Crocs that come painted and they're ugly and you don't like the paint. You could just scrape it off. Like you could just take all that paint off. I never knew this. Do you know how many Crocs I've left behind you've never heard me say that. I know. How many Crocs I've left behind in thrift stores because the paint on it was so bad or ugly and I'm like, I can never sell that. Had no clue you could just take the paint off. I learned that this weekend. As long as it's not under the glaze. There you go. All right. So I don't know if you could take this off or not. I'm thinking maybe you can, but it's very, very faint anyways. You can see it there. Or you can just turn it around because it has some really cool coloring on this one. We're going to go ahead and run it. It is 4 inches tall. And it's going right now. A little funky green creamer. We know the world. You can take me off the bubble now. We're good. I'm good with the bubble at this point. Thank you. Shalom, thank you so much. That's heading to you. We have a tin. I thought this was really cool. Look at this one. Look at how the coloring on this one. It has the reds and it has a little fancy handle. Check that out. We're going to, there we go. Switch my camera, my love. There we go. It opens up, a little rusty crusty in there. I like the design around it. I think it looks very regal. Very regal. Tin from England. You can hide some goodies in there. The duck on the top shelf. Yeah, I'll sell it for $1 if you want. I have no problem. It is not vintage. It is new, but I'll be happy to sell it. The bird theory. This is going to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then we have the little green crackle vase. And then I'll run the duck really quick. Let's do this crackle vase. Where do we put it? Now this I really like. I like crackle glass. Just the look of crackle glass is really, really neat. And it has a really pretty top to it. So you got all that green crackle going on. And I like the little ruffle top. It's like a little flower. Not sure who makes it. It's in great shape. No chips or cracks. 3 inches tall. And that's going right now. And I'm going to grab the duck while that's running. Oh, my egg fell. Kelly, thank you so much. All right, we'll do the duck and then we'll get back to talking. He is newer. He's from a hobby store. He's not, let's see if I can find, I think I have a random listing. There I do. So he's not vintage, but he is adorable. He is probably resin. Are you going to turn the camera? Because he's modeling over here and you're not showing him. There we go. Look at his little behind. Absolutely cute. No marks. Again, it is a newer piece, but he's adorable. And that's running right now. And he's about 5 inches. Yeah, about 5.5 inches tall. Oh, Monster Mama, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll get back to talking for a bit. So anything else? What is on your guys' mind? Since I went on my whole rant about Goodwill, I just had to. So I feel the same as a lot of people about the pricing. But what else could we talk about? Jewelry. Noel is going to make his debut as a jewelry seller, y'all. He's over there like this. Wednesday. So here's the deal. Most of you know I've been trying to break into the jewelry world. It is freaking difficult. I'm just saying, it is the most challenging thing I have ever done on Whatnot. Not the most challenging thing in my life, but yes, it is hard. It has been my biggest challenge to overcome since I started Whatnot. I find it's even harder than when I first started Whatnot. I think I was so just excited and just so full of this. I'm going to do this when I first started Whatnot, that either maybe it's like childbirth, that I put all the pain of the startup out of my mind. But I am struggling with jewelry. My struggle, I need you to give him direction. I know. Oh, I'm going to sit back there. I'm going to be doing all kinds of hand motions.
Good morning, Simpress.
I can't wait for us to switch seats. This is going to be fun. What app do you use to help identify and verify vintage items? What do I use? I use a mix of Google Lens, eBay, and then I have some reference books that sometimes I'll consult if I really, really want. I don't always research my items. Maybe that's unpopular opinion, but I don't always research. If it's something I'm really curious about or something I feel has an extraordinary amount of value, I will research it. Or if there's a piece that I'm just curious about, but I don't always research everything. I tend to, because it doesn't matter. Here's why I don't research.
The Iron Sphere is in the house. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Aaron Sphere. Here's the thing why I don't research. I run everything at $1 unless no, I don't have any NASCAR, but thank you for asking. Unless it's going into my reverse auction where the prices are higher, we start high, work our way low, I need to know a floor. So unless it's for that, and those are usually pieces that I pay up for, they're the bougie pieces, right? They're the more high-end stuff that I put into that show. Doesn't mean I don't have anything high-end in my other shows, but they're like the supreme, like the bangers, they're all banger type show. Other than that, I run everything at $1. If I look up every item and I get it in my head that, oh, this item's worth $10. This one's worth $15. This one's worth $20. This is worth $5. If I get all of that in my head and then I'm running them at $1 and they're not selling for the price that I looked up, it psychologically messes with me. It just messes with me. I'm better off knowing, when I look at an item based on my experience, what I've been doing for long enough now, I have a good idea on what Whatnot Market will pay for it. Because let's face it, you could take an item and sell it on Whatnot and you can sell it on eBay, and they're two different markets. They command two different prices. You're probably going to get less here, but you're going to flip it a lot faster. Or if I want to get more from it, I can sit it on eBay, put it on my shelf and cross my fingers and hope somebody comes across my listing in the millions of listings and that my listing is just well enough to convince them to buy it, right? So I don't like to research a lot of my items that I bring to my general shows for the fact that it's going to go for what it's going to go for. So if I want the aspect of being able to tell a fact about it or a story about it or some little fun thing to help in the selling, I'll do some research. But other than that, it's just not necessary for me. And it does more harm to me psychologically than it does, because then all I can think about is, oh man, I'm missing out money. Instead of appreciating the fact that it's sold and what it's sold for and looking at the big picture. Your shows are so helpful. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Since I started, so Daisy Lane's another dollar start person, so she has some good thoughts on this too. Since I started at $1, I try to avoid current comps. Yep, still try to have info and stories, but that's your joy. I feel the same way. It gets in my head. I don't want to know if something on eBay is selling for $30 and I sell it here for $18. That just I'm like, oh, I don't care how logical we are, how much we know that we look at the averages, we're still human. And I still fight the same feelings that everybody else fights of, I don't want to lose money, but I'd rather focus on being appreciative and happy for the sales that they happen. Now, that doesn't mean be stupid and sell everything at a loss. I'm still very analytical of the shows. I just try not to focus on each individual item. I try to look at the bigger picture. Good morning, Gonzo. So back to jewelry. Noel's going to do his debut because I struggle with trying to find, like, we do it with the camera right here in front of me. We sell in the same place, and I hold the jewelry here and I just can't show that 925. I get very frustrated in trying to show the 925. I know that's a limitation on myself. It's something that I need to practice more and need to work on. But at the same time, I can't just quit. We can't just quit jewelry shows. We have to be relevant. I preach consistency all the time. What is what Liz Ike says? My husband checked an eBay comp on something I ran for $1 and sold low. I told him that's the same as telling me that is the best analogy ever. It is exactly like that. I don't want to know what my tiramisu is going to do to my waistline. I just want to enjoy my tiramisu. Exactly. So when I'm selling jewelry, I get very frustrated. I need to practice it. But in the meantime, what do we always preach on Whatnot? Consistency, consistency, consistency. So I can't just take 2 months off of selling jewelry while I practice and learn to do find the 925 and show stuff in an efficient manner. He's better at it. So in order to stay consistent, we're going to switch places. And I got to be honest, there's a little part of me that if he's successful, if we have a knockout show for some reason, am I going to feel a little butthurt about it? Am I going to be a little jealous? Am I going to be like, I've done 7 shows and I wasn't as good as your one show? Yeah, I am. I'm absolutely going to feel that way. But then am I also going to be happy because this is our business? And at the end of the day, isn't what we want to do what's good for our business? So do you have trouble selling jewelry for what you paid for it? 100%. 100%. We also don't, our focus isn't costume jewelry. So we're not buying large lots of like costume jewelry. It is easier. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it is easier to get costume jewelry in large bundles at better pricing, where maybe you're paying pennies on the dollar or 25 cents a piece, maybe. So selling, maybe you're not getting rich off of it, but you're not losing a ton of money. And I do love my husband and want success. As much as I get on him, I do love the guy. I mean, I married him for a reason. Maybe jewelry is his niche and the rest is exactly. He may take to this and be wonderful at it, which is great. That's what I would do, and sit and untangle and run for a few bucks. Oh yes, and I definitely would not have the patience to untangle jewelry. That I would just be all like, oh, here's a pile of stuff. Here you go. Like I would. That's just not who I am. And part of us being successful is knowing who you are and working with it. And sometimes we need to recognize who we are and make some changes to it. So this is what we're doing. There was a question. I was trying to say something. Oh, about selling jewelry at the price we paid for it. We want to focus on 925. I want to say 98% of what we have is 925 sterling. So yeah, we paid up for it. We invested a lot of money. Some of you may have been around when I did free shipping on vintage. I did it for about 6 months and then I stopped at the beginning of the year. The reason I stopped was we invested in jewelry. We wanted to add jewelry as a new revenue stream. And in order to start up in jewelry, we had to invest money into it. That money had to come from somewhere. So that's why I went from free shipping to $4.50 shipping. It is purely business. It is just reallocating where my business funds are going to expand the business. No different than any other business would do. So yes, I'm having a hard time. We did a jewelry show. We did everything for $10. And here's the other thing with jewelry that we could talk about, not just jewelry, but in any products. I am a firm believer, and I finally had to step back and take my own advice. I'm a firm believer in one price. I think shows that have one price for their items, and it doesn't have to be $1. I'm just saying one price, flow better. To me, it conveys a sense of safety and security to your buyers. The buyer already knows, hey, everything's going to be $15. Everything's going to be $1. Everything's going to start at $5. It's this reduces some of the anxiety that the buyers don't even know they have. It creates kind of this knowledge and safety and clarity within the show. So I'm a firm believer in one price. However, I didn't take my own thought process and my own advice. When we started jewelry, we were all over the board. We've done shows with prices all mixed up. I've done shows maybe with prices starting too high. We did one show where everything started at $10. Did I pay more than $10 for most of those pieces? Sure as heck did. And at the end of the day, I want to say broke even. We lost like $20. So we were in the negative by around $20 for a whole jewelry show. So was there cash flow? Yeah, I got cash flow. But once I took out all my expenses, I lost $20 on this show. That's not really bad for a startup jewelry show. I know everybody's like, oh, you don't want to lose money. But in this whole scheme of business, when you're just starting to only lose that little amount isn't really bad. And what did we do? We started everything at $10. So when I sat here and really looked back, like we all should do on our shows, what worked, what didn't work, the best show we had is when I started at one price. Again, I feel like it creates a psychological safety for the buyers. That is why I want to add perfume shows, but it is rough sourcing and I'm running into a lot of fakes. I don't buy, it's hard. Knowing what to buy. I even find jewelry, like I say 98% is sterling silver, because I'll buy from auctions where they say it's sterling and then I get it here and test it and it's not. So now I've paid up or paid decent money for something I thought was sterling. You know, let's just say I thought I could sell it for $25 and I may have paid 10 for it or 5 or whatever, but it turns out to be costume jewelry. Well, now I got to go down for $1. I can't charge $25 for that because it's not real. So I totally get you. Sometimes you don't know what you're buying. And it's all how, oh, that's you. Yes, it's you. I'm not going to read your comments. So I forget what we're talking about, but losing money in jewelry. Absolutely. Anyways, we're going to do a show. It's going to be all $10 starts. We're going back to that. I firmly believe for us, that's what works best, because we looked back and we looked at when was the best show, when was the best show, what worked, what didn't, and just kind of taking a lesson of my own advice. We can all sit here. We're human. How many times have we given advice to your best friend or your daughter or your sister, and you're like, don't date that guy. Look at all those red flags. And then you go and date a guy just like it, right? We all know instinctively, we're all intelligent people. We instinctively know certain things. Our brains are constantly analyzing and looking for patterns in things. We pick these out. It's our job as business owners to bring that to the forefront and actually act on them. But our human nature, we want to do more what feels good. So, and the same thing when it comes to running shows. I wanted to make money, right? I was like, I paid up for this. I got to run it at these high prices. So anyways, all of that to say, we're having a jewelry show. Noelle's going to be in front of the camera. We're going to try it. And it is hard. So all of you going into a new category, I feel you. I feel the pain. And I am like rooting for you completely. I hope for more, but expect a loss from our first few shows. I consider it advertising costs. Exactly. Yeah. When you're going into a new market, his show is Wednesday night at 6:30. So come and give him a hard time. Come and mess with him in the chat. He doesn't believe me. Thank you for bookmarking. He doesn't believe me that when I'm up here, all of you who has been in front of the camera,
Aaron, I have a thick skin, a very thick skin. So yeah, come and join us. That'll be very funny and interesting.
I want him to get frazzled. He does not believe me when I say that being in front of the camera, it is incredibly difficult to be up here. Do you think it is okay to sell more than one type of product in the same show? Absolutely, that makes sense. If you're doing a clothing show and you have men's and women's, you can sell men's and women's in the same show. I think vintage, you could sell a whole bunch of different stuff. I wouldn't sell like sports cards in a jewelry show. So I think as long as it kind of makes sense under the big umbrella, absolutely, why not? I've never seen him blush.
Not sure, Miss Kelly. We can find out.
It's like a gut check. Yes, absolutely it is. So he thinks that it's easy. How many of you, when you are selling, you have 50 thoughts in your head all at the same time? You're thinking about the item you're selling, the words you're using. If you're an introvert, if you're not a natural talker, I have to really think through all of my words. Like I'm trying to come up with different ways of saying, this is super cute. This is really awesome. This is amazing. Like you're trying to come up without saying the same thing over and over. And it's really easy to sink into the same words. So you're trying to think of the right words. You're trying to show the item. You're trying to remember any call outs or show call outs. You're thinking about the next item. You're trying to read the chat, respond to the chat while you're having all these other thoughts. If you have a partner working with you, you're trying to focus on hand motions and do what they're trying to tell you to do. Is my lighting good? Like you're thinking all these things. You know, how long should I run the auction? Is it time to go to sudden death? Is it not? Do I need? And it's all at the same time. It is not as easy as some people make it look. And the people who get on here and make it just look smooth, I applaud you because it is not easy. I am new and I've only had 3 shows and I am so nervous and I fumble bad. Now, I say all of that. Do I think it's doable? I 100% think it's doable. Are we all going to be perfect every time we do it? No. And that's the authenticity that comes through. And that's what keeps people coming back to you, right? Your wife yells at you for saying, I say all the time. It's one of those words I'm trying to be conscious of, but I'm not getting too successful at removing it from my vocabulary yet.
All right, we have 48 people here. Let's give some love to Nanette. Let's see. And there she is. She's got 148 sold, 5-star review, and her next show is
today
at 7. Let's add some jewelry. Let's go. So let's see if we can bookmark some and show her some love.
And somebody said, and you forget things. I forget who. I just saw it really quick in the chat. And you forget that you do. Do you know how many times I've forgotten to pull a giveaway? More times than I'd like to admit. That I will raid out when a giveaway is going. Happens to me. Or what, 2 or 3 shows ago, somebody asked to see something. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go grab that. Like not 1 second after those words came out of my mouth, the thought completely left my mind and I never grabbed it for the person. Happens all the time. So it is difficult, but it is doable. So you can do it. I see some pre-bids. Let's go ahead and do those really quick.
Absolutely.
We have, these bells are so cute, you guys. Like, I think these are so perfect for the spring. Forget to show stuff. It happened to me on Saturday. The very first item I showed, and I find this kind of typical. Sometimes the very first item, the room just isn't ready. It's like, hey, let me get into the show first, type of kind of thinking. Very first item I showed, nobody wanted it. Okay, put it to the side. And then after the show, Southern Charm and her husband, so Michelle and Tim were here. After the show, I'm like, hey, great, cool, we sewed everything. And Tim's like, no, that first item. I'm like, oh, you're right. And I forgot to show it again. So it's so easy to forget to even go back and show stuff that maybe didn't sell. Okay, we've got this little bell and it has butterflies on it. I thought this was an Ansley. Has anybody ever heard of that brand? I actually have 2 of these. The brand Ansley, they make like porcelain, really beautiful. I thought it was Ansley because it's very reminiscent. We're gonna have to show it here, the patterns, but I can't find any markings on it. So I'm not claiming it to be anything but a porcelain bell. And the light's washing it out, but there we go. It has little butterflies there and around the edges with little flowers. I thought it was adorable. And of course it has the heart handle. It does have its little clapper that works. We're gonna run that. And that's going right now. And thank you for your bids.
Forgotten memories. Come on, chaos is fun.
And Kelly, that's going to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's fun? What are we missing out? I missed the chat here. All right, we have an egg cup next. Our egg vase. It's not an egg cup. Let me get it right here. It's an egg vase. I'm going to admit to you this here. What does this say? Made in Japan. That's what that little tiny sticker says down there. This is in great shape. No chips or cracks. Y'all, this is pretty. I love it for decor. I think it's beautiful. It's kind of granny core-ish to me, but I'm not sure what the functional purpose. I know it says vase, but I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know functionally. I guess you could put Q-tips. Maybe you could put pens in there.
Paper clips.
And Shalom, thank you so much. Trinket dish coin jar. I like the
Thank
coin
you.
aspect. I could put coins in there. That would work. At least then they would keep them from being all over my house. All right. Last one for right now, then we'll move on. A decorative egg. Oh, that would be pretty. We have a black ceramic candlestick holder. This is probably not so vintage. Well, probably at least 10 or 15 years. So not technically under the terms of vintage definition, but I really like it because I think you can just pop it in with other things. It has a little metal top. There is a little tiny wax that will come off. That is sticker residue, and it is running right now 7.5 inches tall. People tend to shy away from using black decor. I think black decor is just, it adds color just as much as something bright does. I think it can really be effective. The bird theory, thank you so much. That is heading to you. All right, let's go back to talking for a little bit.
On its way to you.
We'll do some more. We'll get the rest of those pre-bids in just a few minutes.
I've seen some of your posts and they're really, really nice. I think you nailed the designs and the decor that you go for. It's amazing. Really, really enjoy your posts.
I like black too, the bird theory. I very much enjoy black. Most of my clothes are gray or black. So much so that last Friday I wore a shirt that actually had color in it, and people were like, I had more comments on my shirt than I've ever had on any clothes that I've ever worn on a show. just because I think I never wear color on here. Like I always wear stuff like this. Same with you? Yeah. It's just simple. It's just easy. I get overwhelmed very easy with choices. So while I have a lot of shoes and a lot of clothes, they're very easy. Like there's not a lot of choice to it. You liked that shirt, other discounts? I liked it too. It's a little outside, again, my normal comfort zone of stuff. Yes, classic, easy. And you know what really overwhelms me? We're going to just rabbit trail here. Is opening the refrigerator or the pantry door. I am in awe of people who could stand in front of your refrigerator or stand in front of your pantry, and in your head, you pull together a whole meal. You're like, I can make this roast beef and mashed potatoes and this vegetable, and I can do this. And I open it up and I'm like, let's go to Chick-fil-A. I am completely,
Totally
we all have
I
different
love
skills.
discounts. That's the best part.
Yeah, we all
kitchen
have our
is so
unique
loud.
talents. My husband's like that. He could create stuff. He can look at a whole bunch of spices. I would be happy with salt and pepper. I don't need anything more than salt and pepper. I'm okay. Just go to Chick-fil-A. Our Burger King are in that. I really don't like Burger King. But yeah, just go get pizza. To me, anything is better than having to create the mental stress of trying to pull all that food together. It overwhelms me, completely overwhelms me. My spice collect an entire door organizer. Oh my goodness. Because I don't open the door and say, dang, this is a lot of work. Pass. Yes. It's not even like I would put work into something. I'm a very hard worker. I can't conceptualize it. Now, I can walk into any room, any blank room, and figure out exactly what I'm going to build in that room, how I'm going to paint it, how I'm going to decorate it, which is almost the same thing in a completely just different form. But to me, that's not overwhelming. But looking at a meal to create is completely overwhelming. You take the parts from like 3 recipes on something you've never cooked. I find that, to me, that just amazes me. That's a skill that amazes me. You're a forgotten memory. We're out of mac and cheese. Yep, we're out of mac and cheese. For the longest time, I'm surprised that I'm on child number 4. She's 15. She pretty much fends for herself. I buy food. I don't starve my kid. I do most of my shopping at Sam's, and she's an integral part of what do you want me to buy, easy to prepare food. She actually can cook better than I can. So she eats, but I don't cook a lot. I said, kid number 4, I am surprised the first 3 are like grown adults that can cook and feed themselves, because they did not get that from me whatsoever. Not at all. Like, it was for many, many years in my house. I had a theory that anything you eat should be able to go into a bowl and eat with a spoon. So we had soup, cereal, oatmeal, mac and cheese. That was like my thought of cuisine. Now, if I go out to eat, I like me a good restaurant. Food tastes, I just got to know if you're with me on this. Food tastes better when it's served to you. I can eat the same thing at home, or I can go and have it served to me, and it tastes so much better when it's served to me. Just saying. My husband's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, but don't take her to a Vietnamese place, because she won't even go in. Or Indian cuisine.
I am very picky. This is all the stuff you didn't ever need or want to know about Tracy, and now you're knowing it. I am extremely picky too. We went to Mexican food on Saturday night when Michelle and Tim were here, Southern Charm were here. We went and had Mexican food. I took one bite. What did I get? Fish tacos. I love fish. I love tacos. My husband's Hispanic. I'm pretty in where I'm getting to know Mexican food. I'm okay with it, just not so much spicy. I took one bite. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like it. And the fish was fine. They put some type of oil, cooked the tortilla in some type of oil. That's like, I'm picky to the extreme of, I don't like whatever oil you used. Then fried potatoes, it's not dinner if there's no fried potato. Your husband cringes every time. Yep.
No,
Even leftovers that it may taste better
I
the next
just
day.
identify what she didn't like. To me, it was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you grow up going to the taco stand where you don't know if the taco that you're eating is the dog that was sitting next to it yesterday.
Awful. That's awful. Y'all, have you ever been down into Where my husband grew up in Mexico, it is just like this small little town. There, true, authentic Mexican food in Mexico is a whole nother world. Like it is. I grew up thinking I didn't like Mexican food, and we went to Mexico, and the food here is nothing like what it is in like deep in Mexico, which I'm sure is the same. Spaghetti here is probably can't even touch spaghetti in Italy. I am sure it's the same when you go to other countries, but
I lived all over the place, but my family's from a very small town near the Gulf of America now.
yeah. Here's Tex-Mex. Yep, I got it. Hold on, honey. Can you mute my mic really quick so I can cough and I'm not like coughing in everybody's ear? Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I live next to the Texas border too, on both sides. So,
All right,
and on the south,
we're
and
gonna-
I've been to the West Coast as well.
Yeah, he's lived all over. We're gonna run the other bell.
Oh, cool.
Your sister's in Italy for 3 weeks and it just did some. Oh, that's cool. How they cook steak is different. How do they cook? Like what? Of course, to me, there's only like you just. I don't even know how to cook steak. I guess you just throw it in the frying pan. I don't know, but I think that's interesting. We went to here's a true story. Then we'll run the pre-bids. So every morning for breakfast, no salt until after cooked. Interesting. Every morning for breakfast, I have a smoothie. I have for years. I don't know, probably since before I met you. So probably for 10 years now, I have a smoothie. I make it the exact same way every morning. It's my thing. It takes a thought out of it. I know exactly what I need to make, right? Mexican food in El Paso is 10 times better than here in Oregon. Oh yeah, Mexican food in El Paso is definitely better.
Our little girl, she's like, when are we going back? She misses the food. It's so
And-
funny.
In El Paso, for those of you who've ever lived there or visited, because it's so close, I mean, it is on the border there, they have actual fast food restaurants that has the Mexican soda in the dispensers, in the soda dispensers. You're never going to find that somewhere else.
Good morning, mamas.
Good morning, mamas. I was about to tell a story. Oh, so I have a smoothie every day. We're planning a trip down to his hometown, staying at his mom's house.
Pink Elephant, really? That's awesome.
Oh, do you live in El Paso? We've been looking at houses in El Paso.
She wants to move there.
I've been trying to convince him to move because I'm tired of the snow. Anyways, we went to Mexico. His mother, trying to be a sweetheart. I mean, bless her heart, she was really trying. She was like, what do you put in your smoothie? I'll have the stuff here for you. And I know that they didn't have there what we have here. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I can go 3 weeks without a smoothie. We're okay. But Noelle went and told her. So I have orange juice here, right? Orange juice. I do some protein powders and stuff. I get down there to try to make a smoothie in Mexico. She had a bag of oranges and like a bag of some others. I use like frozen blueberries. There was like fresh fruits. I'm like, this was so sweet, but there was no way in heck that I'm going to like squeeze oranges to get the orange juice to make a smoothie.
Good
Like,
morning, Susan and Evan.
no knives today, but thank you for asking. Florida is Jamaica. Yes, it is. We lived. Oh, that's you. I'm not gonna. Why do I read your comments? In Louisiana, gas station food is better than most restaurants. All right, Kelly. This is my bougie coming out. I will not eat it. I will not eat gas station food.
Miss Kelly, I had a gas station that I went into once in Louisiana, and they had this amazing boneless chicken, and it was advertised right there. There were boiled eggs.
Oh, I know. Boiled eggs, boneless chicken. Yeah, you're funny. Yes, Pink Elephant. We have a friend that lives there, and he sends me pictures of the dust storms. I am not ready for that, but I am ready not to shovel snow. But gas station food, I can't do it. I can't. We just had this conversation about gas station food this weekend. I just can't.
Totally, Miss Nanette.
So, my smoothie recipe, super easy. I'll tell you really quick. Not that one person may want to know. I do a banana, put some orange juice in there. I put organic protein powder, vanilla flavored organic protein powder in there. I do a scoop of Bloom, whatever. I alternate the Bloom flavors, so whatever Bloom flavor, and 2 scoops of peanut butter powder. And then I put Greek yogurt and frozen blueberries. That's it. The same recipe every day.
I know what Liz likes, right? Let's go.
No, I was not going to put on an apron and squeeze. I don't even own an apron. I just don't.
I do. I think I have like 3.
Y'all, it just, the whole thought of gas station food, I know it's popular. Wawa, I heard Wawa has amazing food. Sheets, we have Sheets here where I'm at. They supposedly have amazing food. I just can't get it myself to the point of eating food at the same place I buy my gas.
She forgets about Buc-ee's.
Okay, that's the exception. I do Buc-ee's barbecue brisket. That's what it is. That is my exception, is Buc-ee's.
Right, Miss Nanette?
Okay,
Yes.
but Buc-ee's isn't really, I mean, I know they sell gas, but I don't think they're really, I don't classify them as a gas station. So, yes, Buc-ee's is amazing. There's a seller on here who goes to Buc-ee's and sells from Buc-ee's, like does live selling. I've seen her before. For the life of me, I will never remember her name, but I've seen it here. Okay, let's run this really quick. This is another one of those bells. It's exactly like the one we just ran. Exactly, 100%, no difference whatsoever. And that's up and going right now. Buc-ee's has the absolute, they do have the best jerky. Noel loves that. He actually bought from the seller, bought a bunch of jerky from there. Good morning, Miss Mary. Kelly, thank you so much. That is going to you. And then we have this piece over here. Now this, you guys, this is really cool. I didn't open it, so I can't vouch that every single piece is here. This is a vintage puzzle, and I didn't want to take the string off, but it feels full, like it's heavy. So, but it is a vintage puzzle with that picture. And we're going to run it right there. It is in the box. Looks like that. And that is, again, exactly how I purchased it. Did I run it? Oh, it is running. Okay,
Uncle
up and
Valera
going.
for peanuts. That's interesting.
The bird theory. Thank you so much. That is heading to you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm missing chat here because I'm trying to sell stuff. So let's see. We visit family in Texas. Buc-ee's is a first stop. Yeah, they put a Buc-ee's in Florida when we lived in Florida, and I was so excited. It's kind of like south of St. Augustine. You got QT for hot dogs and 7-Eleven for wings. Oh. I am not, yeah, we just don't do the gas station stuff, but that's okay. I think it's because of the oil field, we have awesome gas station food. Maybe, could be. All right, we've been on for a while. Is there any other, let's do one more giveaway and then let's do another giveaway and then we'll see about going to raid somebody. What else is on your mind? We talked about everything I had for today. QT's jalapeno cheese hot dogs. I love discounts. Oh my gosh. See, now that's sacrilegious to me. Buc-ee's brisket is, it is awesome. You know what's popular up here? So we live in the Amish country, our pretzels. I think somebody said something about pretzel dogs before. I just had one this weekend. They are amazing up here. We have a little Amish market and they make the best pretzels I've ever tasted in my life. All right, everybody. Final thoughts. What are your final thoughts? Anything? How about shows? If you guys have shows, put them in there. We can share with each other. I don't always say put your shows in, but if you do, raid train host etiquette. Would it be, that would be a great topic, raid train host etiquette. So the host itself or the people on the train? I am not as good of a raid train host as I would like to be. CG Boomerang Echo, y'all probably heard me talk about her a million times, is an amazing raid train host. Do you know she actually keeps a spreadsheet? Everybody, if you are ever on one of her trains, she keeps a spreadsheet. She keeps history on every single train. She watches, and here's just a food for thought. And feel free to go into her show. She does talk shows on raid trains and ask her about it because she's very open about talking about it. Mama's cool. Thank you for sharing. She has everybody's sharing your show, so you guys kind of check that out. And if anything looks interesting to you, you get some ideas on where you want to go and watch this next couple of days. But she keeps a spreadsheet. She watches how many people came in with the raid, how many people left, so she knows if you're dropping people or you're gaining people, how you performed. Like, do you thank the host? Like she will keep track of all the stuff of bad things that happen, of good things. She'll put like a husband and wife team, very entertaining, great interaction, engaged in the chat, or she may put stuff rated late, didn't thank the host. Everything goes on her spreadsheet, and so she knows.
There's a ton of great shows. Salt and Pepper Shaker, that's going to be an interesting one for our low discounts. And then the Swap Card Show tomorrow for the Sassy. And we got the Bird Theory with Eastern and Dark Moody.
Oh, I love the Dark Moody's
Dark
becoming
is gonna
so
be interesting.
popular. Yes.
And then we got Forgotten Memories with Vintage to Modern Jewelry.
Free shipping on Fridays. Ooh, free shipping Fridays. I like the little like play on words. Free shipping Fridays. I like that. Wacky Wednesdays for Shalom. Sassy Vintage Ship. What are swap cards? Are anybody? I don't know what a swap card is. What are these? Tell me. Are they like the playing cards that the vintage playing cards that everybody were getting crazy about and all into? Bertha, you did your first Max shipping show. How did that go for you?
All
Individual
right.
playing. Okay.
That's interesting. Here it goes.
There we go. Right there, swap cards. So ephemera. So they are like the old vintage cards, and that people enjoy like the various pictures and designs of them. I've seen Daisy Lane do card shows, I don't know, a couple months back. Nice. You paid zero shipping. Well, that's wonderful. Now, isn't that the best of both worlds? You do a reduced shipping show, and I'm sure you put some thought into what items you sold. So the buyers paid a reduced price. They were happy because they got a deal, and then you didn't have anything out of pocket. That's amazing. That's really good.
Absolutely, Miss Sassy. Absolutely. So check it out. That sounds interesting. Some of those cards, they have pretty cool designs.
They do. I occasionally come across packs. I never do them individually. Occasionally I come across vintage like decks of cards, and I just sell them as decks of cards because honestly, I applaud you that you have patience. I have watched Daisy Lane's card shows, and they're interesting to watch because I think the pictures are absolutely gorgeous. They are actually like little works of art on these cards. I don't have patience for that. Anybody who comes to my show where I have multiples of something, you will see me. I will do one, I will do two, and then I'm like, all right, here's four. Like, I have zero patience. So, all right, I love discounts. Salt and pepper. Of course, it's salt and pepper, you've always got to put a twist on it. Where did you get so many salt and pepper shakers? Like, how did I never know about this? I have 4 shows all this week, all smalls. Any suggestions for keeping up on shipping? Yes. Susan Trendy Treasures, you got that giveaway. I try to follow a rule. I am not always successful. I try to follow a rule for myself that I don't do another show until I ship out the first show. However, I always seem to break it for this Monday show because after this show, I go and do the rest of my shipping for my Saturday show. So, but trying to segregate your smalls. So after one show, put them all in one area so they don't get mixed up. That's one tip that I would have. If anybody else has tips for Mary about keeping up on the shipping or keeping it organized, please throw it in the chat. And then just work through it. I'm curious for you guys. I think we asked this on one of our podcasts. Do you have a shipping method? So for the sellers here, we're going to start another giveaway so we can talk about this. When you go to ship, do you have like a way that you do it as far as like you do all the new people first, or you do all the biggest orders or the smallest orders, or is it just I'm going to start at the top and work my way down? What do you do? Does anybody have like a method, or is it just kind of whatever when you go to do it? Biggest first. So Southern Charm does the biggest because that like pulls out a lot of the stuff. It makes it easy to find the rest of it. I usually start at the top. Sometimes I will do new people first, but I kind of just start at the top. Use bins and each person gets one. Then you can keep an eyeball on what is getting packed. Oh, I like that. Smallest. So you do all the onesies and then the twosies. Tony does it back. He likes smallest. Top to bottom. Oh, you go by weight first. Interesting, Aaron. So you go by the heavy, I'm assuming heaviest to lightest, so that if you have to use adjustments, you're using your adjustments on the heavy stuff? Guessing? Top to bottom. Ship immediately after the show, period. No exceptions. Do all the envelopes first. Yes. hold on. What am I missing? Let's see. Top to bottom, packing slips, small orders, pack and weigh, box size. Nice. Hey, look at, we're all so different in the way we do this, and there's not one right way to do it. I like the largest first. However, our employees are taught to just go top to bottom, run down the list. Don't try to mix it up. See, I'm kind of a top to bottom person. I would say most of the time I do top to bottom. I just start at the top of the list and work my way down. However, if I feel, I'm going full disclosure here. We have 2-day shipping, right? Like 2 days is our time frame by Whatnot. I love discount. You're just trying to make me blush. I start at the top and work down. I have all of my tape, scissors, packing, paper box, pack that show because I do 2 shows. I ship the next day. Yes. So I usually just work down the list, but there are times if it's a particularly big show that I'm on day 2, like the morning of day 2, like right now, the stuff from Saturday's show has to be out by tomorrow to be on time. I'm probably 70% packed up on that show. But if for some reason I was like rushing, I was running out of time, I will go and pick out all the onesies so I can get the most out that I can for the most amount of customers. If I'm running short on my shipping time and I'm coming up against a deadline, I will try to do all the onesies first. That's not all the time, but that's when I'm crunched on time. Other than that, I just go down the list. I find that when I start cherry picking, that I get messed up. I make mistakes when I cherry pick because I'm trying to remember, not necessarily remember, but it's not an order to me. And y'all know me, I'm type A, I like an order, so. All right, we have about 2 minutes left on that giveaway going. I don't do my shipping labels until all the boxes are full to make sure they're all correct. Absolutely, Mary. Yep. And I mean, I don't want to get on a whole shipping thing because we could talk shipping for 3 days straight and never stop. But I don't understand the people who print all of their labels first because there's no way you're adjusting them, and that's wrong. So I do love, oh, you guys, I'm so excited. I forgot to tell you. I actually messaged Southern Charm because I was so excited about this. I got the new shipping labels. It finally came to me. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And yesterday I went to ship and I had new shipping labels. I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever been so excited about something on Whatnot than the shipping labels. Like, I do love them because I am one of the sellers who will include packing slips. Not everybody does. Again, there's no right or wrong, but I do. And the old way took a lot of packing slips. Like, it took a lot of labels. I do random pulls and use a grid tray or paper stacks to sort them. I like that because if you're doing minis, you can do it that way. It saves so much. They are so better. Whatnot, hands down, wonderful improvement. I definitely give you credit for that improvement. It was really a good one. You will now that they've made it shorter. Is it just me or is there more information on it? It's shorter and it includes some additional information we didn't have before. Like it says giveaway when you do the giveaways. Or am I imagining this? I think it includes more information than the old ones. Again, I've only looked at these for 1 day now and I haven't really studied them. I just saw I had them and freaked out that I had them. Way easier to read, absolutely. I see a lot of people having problems with their equipment. What is the best equipment to use if you're starting out with Whatnot? I think to keep it simple. I say that as I look around my husband's multitude of technology here. However, keep it simple. You need a phone, some type of lighting source. Susan, you got that giveaway. Congratulations. You need a phone, some type of lighting source, and a scale. Those are your top 3 things to start with. Most of that, maybe a scale would probably be the only thing you would have to purchase if you don't have some type of shipping scale. Or I've also seen people use food scales, but if you're shipping really big things, that might not work. I use Ziploc bags to keep orders separate, especially the bundles. It's easier to put. That makes sense, April. I agree with that. Okay. And a printer. Well, yes, a printer is going to make it easy, but it could be a regular printer. And if you're really stuck, I'm all about being budget conscious, and you may have to start with nothing. Most of us already have a cell phone. That's commonplace. Most of us have lamps in our house or a window with some sunlight. That shouldn't cost you any money. So if you don't have a printer, thank you, Mary. You can go to the library. If you're like, look, I am hard pressed for money and I'm really trying to start out, you can go to the library and print it on paper. You will need to have some packing supplies to pack these. Again, if you are just starting out, there are places to find free packing supplies. Just make sure that they're usable, they're clean. This is your business still that you're representing. But bare minimum. Then as you start to make money, absolutely a thermal printer to me would be the first must-have. I think a lot of people would recommend a thermal printer too as a first must-have. So that's how you started. Printed the labels for 10 cents a piece at the library. There you go. An all-in-one printer or any kind. So here's the thing. If you have a regular printer like a inkjet or LaserJet, like a regular office printer, it could be anything. You are going to spend more on ink that way over a course of time. For me, a regular printer is good in the short term. It's a immediate solution, not a long-term solution. But you just print it. Yeah, ink gets expensive. So you print it on paper and then you have to use more tape to tape that label onto the box. It works in the short term. A thermal printer would be the next best step. You can get decent thermal printers for $40 or $50 on Amazon, probably sometimes cheaper if there's sales. It doesn't have to be a fancy one. I think we had, I don't know when, maybe it was our last show, we had these conversations on thermal printers. I have a cheap one and I have an expensive one. They work the same to me. And a lot of people have, they're called Jadens, is one of the brands that a lot of people have. I know I have that. They work, you don't have to spend $300 on a thermal printer. You can get the cheap ones and they work. There you go. Amazon, $40. So you subscribe to HP Insta Ink. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard of that, but it sounds like kind of like some mail thing or that they resupply you or something. I've heard some sellers use their regular printer for years. I used my regular printer for a month and I was over it. I'm like, I'm buying a thermal printer. So. Cheap one from Amazon and has 100 free labels. They can't beat that. All right, you guys, we've been here for a while. I am going to go raid somebody. I appreciate, as always, you guys hanging out with me in the mornings. I will be back Wednesday morning, and then Noel's going to make his debut Wednesday night. So you bought a new one here on Whatnot. Oh, that I am sure. Yes, I never even thought about that, but I am sure there's people on Whatnot that sell things that us as sellers need to use in our normal processes. So I need to use Whatnot for more things. I'm a little stuck in my categories. And well, great, you can tune in to see Noel and we can give him a hard time. Y'all, seriously, come and give my husband a hard time. All in good fun, but I want him to have a taste of what it's really like to be on this side of the screen. So you're using the one you got from me? Oh, that's cool, Monster Mama. All right, y'all, have a good week. We will see you soon. Let's go find somebody to raid.
I put my face on the podcast sometimes.
All right, we're going to go see, you know what, let's go to East Coast Eclectic. This is Miss Jody, and she does vintage decor, and we haven't seen her in a while.
Have a great day, everybody.